Becky returned to campus with a sense of relief. Her father had given her permission to stay for the remainder of the semester, and she had the support of her family. She and Evelyn were closer than ever, and the promise of moving off campus together the next year filled them with excitement. Amelia, however, continued to sulk, her bitterness growing as she watched Becky and Evelyn's friendship flourish. One day, as the girls were preparing for their final exams, Becky received a message from her mother. It was a reminder of the promise her parents had made, that she would soon be moving into her own apartment. But the message also carried a piece of wisdom: forgive, but be cautious. Becky took those words to heart. She decided to approach Amelia one last time, hoping to clear the air. "Amelia," Becky began gently. "I know things have been tense between us, but I don't want to leave things this way. We don't have to be friends, but we can at least be civil." Amelia stared at her for a long moment, her expression unreadable. Then, she shrugged and said, "Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore." Becky knew better than to push further. She had done what she could. The rest was up to Amelia. As the exam season came to a close, Becky and Evelyn focused on their studies, determined to finish the semester strong. Amelia kept her distance, and the tension in the dorm subsided. The days passed in a blur of revision sessions, late-night study marathons, and mutual encouragement. As the semester drew to a close and most students left campus for the holidays, Amelia's resentment simmered beneath the surface. She couldn't shake the humiliation of being sidelined by Becky and Evelyn, and the thought of them living together in a comfortable apartment next year only fueled her anger. She felt cornered, but she wasn't ready to give up just yet. Amelia devised one final plan, more devious than the last. She decided to plant contraband in Becky's belongings, something that would guarantee her expulsion if discovered. Amelia knew someone who could get her the substances, and she carefully timed her move for the day before the campus officially closed. Amelia waited until she was certain Becky and Evelyn had gone to their final exam. Slipping into their dorm room, she quickly rifled through Becky's suitcase, which was half-packed with clothes and textbooks. She pulled out a small packet of drugs from her bag, intending to hide it deep inside the folds of Becky's clothes. But as she bent down, the door creaked open behind her. "Amelia, what are you doing?" a voice called out sharply. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. Slowly, she turned around to see Sister Felicia standing in the doorway, arms crossed and a stern expression on her face. Behind her was a security officer, alerted by Felicia's suspicions. Amelia stammered, I was just looking for something. I lost." Sister Felicia cut her off. "Don't lie, Amelia. I've been watching you since you started avoiding Becky and Evelyn. I knew you were up to something, and now I have proof." The security officer stepped forward, holding out his hand. "Give me the packet," he demanded. Defeated, Amelia handed it over, knowing there was no way out this time. Within hours, Amelia's parents were contacted, and the matter escalated to the university administration. Given her previous infractions and her high-profile connections, the university decided it would be best for everyone involved if Amelia quietly transferred to another institution. Her parents, humiliated and desperate to salvage their reputation, arranged for her to attend a private university in Kotona, far from the scandal she had created. As she packed her things, the reality of her situation began to sink in. She was being exiled, not just from the university but from the life she had known. Her plan had backfired spectacularly, and now she was the one being sent away in disgrace. Before leaving, Amelia passed by Becky's room one last time. Becky and Evelyn were there, preparing to leave for the holidays. For a moment, Amelia considered apologizing, but her pride wouldn't let her. Instead, she just stared at them, her face a mask of bitterness, before turning away without a word. As she boarded the bus to Kotona, Amelia felt a pang of regret, not just for what she had done but for the friendships she had lost in her quest for revenge. She knew she had no one to blame but herself. Back in Ibadan, Becky and Evelyn were unaware of the full extent of what had transpired. All they knew was that Amelia had left, and they were relieved to move on from the tension and turmoil. They looked forward to their next year, determined to focus on their studies and enjoy the new chapter in their lives without the shadow of Amelia's animosity hanging over them. For Amelia, life in Kotona was a stark contrast to what she had known. She struggled to fit in, and the weight of her actions followed her wherever she went. But in the quiet moments, far from the life she had tried so hard to sabotage, Amelia couldn't help but wonder what might have been if she had chosen friendship over envy. That evening, the girls packed up their belongings, ready to head home for the holidays. Becky couldn't help but feel a sense of closure as she looked around the room one last time. Despite the challenges, she had grown stronger, wiser, and more resilient. She felt a weight lift off her shoulders as she left the dormitory behind, ready to embrace the next chapter of her life. Back home, Becky's parents welcomed her with open arms. They were proud of how she had handled herself, and Becky felt a deep sense of gratitude for their unwavering support. The experiences of the past semester had taught her the importance of family, friendship, and integrity. As she settled into the comfort of her home, Becky couldn't help but smile. She was ready for whatever challenges the next year would bring, knowing that with the right support and mindset, she could overcome anything.